What's up? Okay, let me see just what sign I'm going to start with today. Taurus. We're starting with Taurus today. Hello, Taurus. You Venusian lover, you. Okay, it's been a while, so I'm going to stumble through this a little bit, probably. Who knows? Let's get started. I ask my guides, my galactic guardians, my angels, my archangels, my ascended masters, my ancestors, my ancestors, and my ascended masters. Did I say ascended masters? I ask you to please remove my ego so that I can give the Tauruses the message that I said their highest good today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, let's get started. So, I was looking through my cool little tarot notebook that I've been working on for years, just collecting spreads that I like. And, there were all these fun, lighthearted ones, and I'm hearing no, 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 and I'm towards the back of the book and going, are we ever going to find a spread? And bam, we landed on interview with the ego. So that'll tell you what we're starting with. I said, okay, I guess a message is a message, right? We're going straight in. So, I'm going to pull the cards and then we'll go through them. Unless the messages are really loud, I will adjust and I'll tell you the messages as I go. But for most times it's easier. I read quicker for you if I'm not doing one message at a time. All right. Let's get messages for Taurus, please. First card is card to represent their ego. Okay. Let's go down here. All right. Second card, a lie their ego tells them. It's a lie their ego tells them. I love how they just fly out. How is the ego dictating Taurus's life? Shh, come on now. Ain't gotta throw it that far. Ego said, we'll have a conversation. All right. A way ego influences Taurus, please. I think I caught the one that was supposed to come out, but we're gonna go with this one. Where does number 4 go? Right here. Gorgeous. Okay. All right. Why is the ego being given so much power to Taurus? I think I like it the other way, but I'm already here, so I'm just gonna keep going. 5, 6, 7. See how to gain control of ego. How can they gain control? Oh, wait, did they both fall out? Did those both fall out? They did, didn't they? Okay. I'm already seeing where they're going with that message, so that's cool. All right, so let's get into it. So the first card you had for the card that represents your ego is impartiality. Okay, can you see this card? So card that represents your ego is like the camera is not. Of course. All right, can you see? There we go. There's like an aura. You see how big that aura is that's like engulfing this person? So there's like balancing of the buckets here. These buckets are perfectly balanced. Everything is beautifully balanced. But the ego, this aura that you see around, this is what's helping keep things in balance. So the card to represent your ego, forgetting that the mic was over here, is that it's literally what's keeping everything together. Which, I mean, I understand because the ego protects us, right? But if it becomes all engulfing energy, that's like, I mean, are you doing things because that's what you're driven to do, or are you doing them because your ego is driven to get that satisfaction from the end result of whatever it is you're doing? A lie your ego tells you. Ooh. So you got the acceptance card. It's interesting because there's aura. Actually, like, you got all the cards where they'd be engulfed in some sort of aura. That's really interesting. Let me just... Yeah, so ego's running the show right now because it literally keeps everything working. Like, all of the wheels are turning in motion the way they should be because ego keeps it there. Like, if your ego were to waver at all, the way that you have built your life, things would start to topple down. So the lie that your ego tells you, see how she's got just one piece of pie cut, right? Like, there's just one piece of pie. The ego right now, whomever is watching this, who we're picking up on, you don't think your ego's running the show. Like, you honestly think that you have it all in check. Like, that you think you're in control, which is the ego's biggest lie, right? Like, that you have control of it rather than it having control over you. But if you see this card, she's literally being guided what to do from this aura that's around her. Again, it's crazy to me too, because when the first card, you just see that there's an aura around her. You just see there's an aura, right? But then when you add this one to it, that aura becomes, it's taking on more of a human form, right? It's gaining more control. So a lie that your ego tells you is that you have control over it. It's got you thinking this. 3, how is ego dictating your life? There are things that you would forgive, that you would let go. And again, see how it's a child being held by okay, I think hippos are the ones that are really dangerous, but these look like they could be like a hippo's cousin, you know, a rhino. Like, I feel like they can also do a lot of damage too. So, like, to me, this ego is growing, because I don't see this as something that's good for you around you. This, to me, it looks like it started here where it was just the small aura, and then it began to take on a form, right? It's not as big as she is, but now look at the rhino completely engulfing the inner child. So it's almost like the ego and there's faces back here. How's it dictating her? This is keeping you like so the rhino in this photo is quite literally a wall, and there are 3 people behind here. You see those faces? Okay. So I view this as like your inner child. And so if you're an ego in an adult space, ego as a child is supposed to protect you. But ego as an adult will hinder you from stepping into what you're supposed to be doing, or who you're supposed to be around or helping. And this is, like, to me, a distinct card of, like, it's in your mind, it's keeping you out of trouble. It's keeping you away from a bunch of things that you don't need to be around. But that's ego telling you, because it doesn't... If you think of your ego as like a living, breathing thing, right? If you start to step out of ego, the ego itself the ego is always going to be there. So it's not like it's going to cease to exist. But that expression of it, where it became so much more than it was would start to diminish. And so the ego becoming this like, I want to continue to live type of expression is going to continue to do the things that it knows will keep you from harm's way. But harm's way as a child and as an adult look completely different. And so it's like, it's dictating your life because it's controlling you through your inner child. Wow, that was a long way to go around saying just to that, but that was basic of it. Yeah, okay. A way your ego influences you, dissipating. This card is so just like, I mean, look at her. I mean, she's not controlled by ego anymore, but does this look like a life that you want to be in? And the yellow is solar plexus. So it's like this has blocked your solar plexus. It's like it's taken the joy and excitement out because you're so protected. You're so protected by this ego that you can't get the experiences in life that you're supposed to be getting. So this is what you've got right now. This is where egos put you in front of the fucking TV. What are you doing in front of the TV? What are you going to do in front of the TV? That's not helping anything. Why is the ego being given so much power? Again, because it balances your life. But does this look like the life you want? As a Libra, I would destroy the world to get rid of this type of balance because that's not balance at all. That's like a facade of balance. First off, nobody's happy. You can't just have 3 people unhappy as hell and call it balance. I mean, they're balanced in that all of them are unhappy, but that's not balance, not the natural order of things. For all the darkness, there is light. Where is the light in this photo? It's not the person holding the scales. But again, if you view this as ego, he looks pretty pleased with himself. Ego looks like it looks like he even has a cape, you know, like he's really gotten hold. Coming from this, where it was just kind of an idea, to now it is holding all the power. That's a sketchy place to be. It's being given so much power because of the balance. Because you believe that you need that balance. All right, an important lesson to learn about your ego. Number 6. You stay within ego because you're lacking within your own self-worth. And this may not be a conscious thing. This may not be something that's like, oh, I for sure know without a shadow of a doubt that I'm lacking in self-worth. I might need to up my self-love game a little bit. And because if you think about it, lack of self-worth would fall back on ego. Because ego is going to do and be and step into the space that someone lacking self-worth would not. So how can they gain control of their ego? I love this. You have the service card. So how do you gain control of your ego? You stop focusing so much on self and start giving to others. Start putting that energy into others. I mean, that one's pretty self-explanatory in regards to, but I mean, this is even like a really beautiful, if you see the people in the corner right here, it's almost like putting energy into someone else. It pulls away the ego that you've built, right? Those negative connotations of the ego. Because ego, again, isn't bad. It's just, it needs to be used the correct way. And so this is a perfect photo capture of using ego in the right way. You're not fueling your ego and like, oh yeah, I help someone else. I mean, some people do. But it's more of to be in service of someone else, especially if you're not doing it to like So this is what I did today. You know, like that's ego. That is driven by ego. So that wouldn't count. When you do it from a space of authenticity where your intent is just to give to another, ego's grip loosens. Okay. It's like the equivalent of using a screwdriver to undo a screw. You know, it's twisting the screw out. Probably not using the right terminology. Tools, like what are those? Okay, how will life change for the better after gaining control of your ego? Are you ready for this card? Okay, look at this card. You got the Discovery card. Look at that. You're going from ego moving into like higher self, your oversoul. Like this to me is like the oversoul. So when you move your ego out of the way, your oversoul has room to come in and connect with you. That's freaking really cool. Because your oversoul is going to be better for your inner child 100 times more than the ego ever could have been. And again, ego was good as a child because it, you know, it helped you in spaces where maybe an adult wasn't there and couldn't do it. But as an adult, ego, living in ego in this much of a capacity starts to actually wear on your ability to grow as a human in a healthy way. And so no matter how much you grow, if you're in this loop of ego, you're always going to be cultivating this like toxic cycle of needing that validation. So you're never, ever, ever able to do this to come into this. Okay. All right. So we're going to do a Rainbow Warrior card. And it's literally just an art card, and showing you it is supposed to give you an activation. So I'll show it to you and then I'll read it because I have to like lean forward and it's a whole ass thing. Oh, and they're like brand new, so they're kind of hard for me. I forgot I gotta go this way.
My hands is too little to do it that way.
All right. My dog does not like when I shuffle the cards. It stresses her out. You do not like when I shuffle the cards, do you? It's okay. It's okay. This isn't even a loud shuffle. This isn't even a loud shuffle. All right. Which card for Taurus do we need today? What do they need to know the most? What's their activation? What's coming through? Let me try this way. It's a little bit better.
Our little hands can't do it the other way.
All right, come on, guys, work with me. One card, please. Just love to see me struggle. Struggle. Come on. One card for Taurus, please. Take it. All right, you got number 10. 10 is usually endings. Let's see what it says. I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to show it. Should I show it first, then read? Right. So 10, crown chakra. I love that out of all of the cards, out of all of those cards, that big ass deck, I pulled the crown chakra with the chakra deck. So that's really saying something. You got actually 2 crown cards. Out of all of the cards, you got sacral and crown chakra and root chakra were the ones that really came up in this reading. So I would focus on root, sacral, and crown. Solar plexus came up too. That was where you had like, if you're depressed, I would look into your solar plexus. I know you can't see me at all. All right. So here's your activation card. Like, isn't it beautiful? Ignore my nails. I literally cleaned all day yesterday and did not get my nails done. So I'm going to do my nails today. Like you can. Anyway. So inspiration, access point, elevation, opportunity, bliss, link. The more information you have in any situation can be the difference between joy and grief, being alone or lonely, power or force, or knowledge or wisdom. You're being asked to reserve action and carefully evaluate your judgment right now. Things are not exactly as they seem, and an expanded awareness is necessary. At any point in experience or situation, you can stop and take a moment for yourself to be mindful of what you're feeling and access your inner wisdom. Take time to visualize the outcome you want, asking your expanded self if it's the absolute best outcome for you at this time. And then notice your emotions and your body's response to it. Do you feel conflicted in any way? If so, focusing on resolving that is the next step. Okay, can you see? Can you see? Can you see? All right, yes. So I'm going to leave it there. I'll give you a couple of messages from
My deck.
one weekend, I went into my room and I channeled this deck. I think I smoked a couple bowls and came out like 6 hours later and I had this deck made. I am not the best artist, but I am proud of this deck because me and Spirit totally co-created it. And then I've been saying for 6 years that I would turn it into a deck that other people can have. And then I get to the design of the cards and I completely freak out. And that's as far as we've gotten. So, there's that. All right. Give me messages for Taurus, please. Woo! Any more messages for Taurus? Any more messages for Taurus? I mean, y'all threw out those real quick. Okay. All right. Let's see. Every emotion felt is an energetic transmission. Do you like my art? Look at it. Look, isn't it? I used to draw these little flowers all over my papers when I was in school. That was my art that the teachers got. Every emotion felt is an energetic transmission. What transmissions are you sending out into the world, Taurus? Detach from what no longer serves the highest good. Now, based on your reading today, I would go with detach from your ego, but that's for you to choose. Self-love never allows feelings of inadequacy. Your soul knows you are whole on your own. Self-love never allows for feelings of inadequacy. Your soul knows you are whole on your own, okay? Your soul knows you are whole on your own. That is a message. Oh my gosh. Divine messages. Synchronicity. Right here. Okay? Synchronicity. Divine messages. All right, Taurus, that was your message today. If you're still here at the end, I love you. You're so amazing. You have a beautiful day. I love you. Namaslay.